This morning I've asked Kenneth to sing a song of David's. And it's because we're beginning Holy Week, traditional Holy Week. Today's Palm Sunday, and we're not doing a traditional Palm Sunday talk. Except that times like this involves reflection and looking at our past. And sometimes when we look at it on our way to our healing, we see some stuff that, oh. Kenneth's gonna sing.
Standing in the cold, all alone at the end of the pier, staring at the night, looking down at the water below. How did I end up here? Just the other day I was on my way to the top. How did I fall so far? How do I stop? Catch me, don't let me fall in the river. Don't let me drown in the water. And don't let me drift with the tide. Catch me, 'cause I'm about to go under. I tell you, saving. Catch me or I won't survive. Once I had a dream, now my dreams are all gone with the wind. Everything looks black, there's no turning back from this trouble I'm in. I wouldn't know how to begin. When you're going down, everyone around you starts walking away. And who do I turn to now? How do I say, catch me, don't let me fall in the river, don't let me drown in the water, don't let me drift with the tide. Help me survive. I never asked for help before. I just couldn't do it, but I can't make it anymore. You've got to help me through it. Catch me, don't let me fall in the river. Don't let me drown. Help me survive. Don't let me fall. Don't let me drown. Oh no, oh no, no. I feel so alone. Please catch me. I've got to survive.
pain. Lots of confusion. Go ahead, do it for me, please. I've got to talk for a little bit. You know, I've been in positions where I thought, what am I going to do? And I know a lot of people right now who are caught and torn between the light and the dark. They know they are the light, and they're so drawn to the dark. Well, no, it's not evil. It's just the part that wants oblivion, because the thoughts of doing the work to fully enter into the light that we know we are is so painful and so scary. And the horrible, horrible part is, once you've taken a step into the light, you can't ever ignore again that there's light, no matter how hard you try. No matter how hard you try oh no, there's not light. I'm just going to stay over here with this darkness that I'm familiar with. And then you take 2 steps, because the pain of trying to go back is so great that, oh God, I can't do that. And so now we're stuck. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. A few steps in and a retreat. Maybe now the dark will work again. And the dark never works again. Once you have taken 1 step into the light, the dark never fully works again. And so it's horrible until there is a commitment to the light. Life is almost unbearable until there's a full commitment to the light. And I'm not talking religion. I'm not talking that anybody here has to become a minister to step into the light as the light. But one cannot retreat and ever be comfortable again with the old ways. This is the 5th Sunday of Lent, and it's about overcoming. It's called the Overcomer. And to overcome my thoughts about the past, to actually change my past, so that my past would never again try to tell me I need to go back to it. Because there would be no logic to that. There would be no sense to that. There would be no joy or even relief. Who here has ever taken a step into the light only to be horrified and try to run back and found out you can't? Yeah, that it doesn't work. Why isn't your hand up? Don't you try to fool me. If you ever wanted to know what true hell is, because it's not a place of religion, and it's not a place we go to when we die. It's a place we can go to as living, breathing human beings. Hell is trying to make what doesn't work again. That is pure hell. Trying to make that old stuff work again because at least it's familiar. And for some of us, and unity is a big, big part of this, because the people that find unity, they're looking for light. And then you go into it and it's like, oh, I don't know I have no tools for the light. I don't have one single tool to live in the light that I'm aware of. But I know it's good. But and then we make up this other story. So, look at everybody here. They're all so happy. Everybody but me is happy at unity. But no. And so look around, and it's not that you look around and say, oh, that one's miserable, I didn't realize that, and that one, it's not about looking for trying to identify with everybody's, oh, there, that poor thing. It's none of that either. It's about, I'm choosing a journey of light. God, show me what it is. Bless you. I've got to choose the journey of light. That's the Jesus Christ message. We in Unity are not here to worship Jesus. And if that offends anyone, well, then you're offended. I can't undo that except to let you know that Jesus is a great teacher. He is our master teacher, but it's the Christ we want to be interested in. It's the Christ. It is a word that Jesus wasn't even aware of. But when you heard Kenneth sing, the phrase of David's that stands out the most to me in that song is, I'm really worth saving. Even in this hell I am in. And David wrote this about someone he knew years ago who was standing on the pier ready to jump in New York City and debating. He was a drug addict. And he was debating. And he didn't. He did not. He decided, he saw a glimmer of light that said, maybe there's something else. Maybe there's another choice. And he leads a very successful life right now. I don't know if he's happy or not. What I do know is when you're at the brink and you're debating, I know that life is never the same again. You never see life the same once you know, oh, I could make that choice. And I am on the edge of it here. And so David wrote this song for him, or about him, and many people have been affected by it, like us today. And Kenneth does it, I think, especially effectively to convey that lyric that so many of us feel when we're at the brink of, I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do anymore. I don't know how to be happy, and I don't even know how to be sad with any grace. I don't know how to be. I don't know how to be in my skin. I just don't know. And then we sit with it. We have to get to the point where we can accept. I don't know how to be in my skin. But somebody else does, so it's possible. And so it's possible. There's a wonderful promise in the Bible, and I like it a lot. Okay, I just taught a class on this yesterday. It comes from the book of Joel. One we don't read a lot. And it's Joel 2:25. And it says, I will restore you to the years which the swarming locust has eaten, the hopper, the destroyer, and the cutter. I will restore to you the years which the locust has eaten. So there is a promise there. And what that means is, I will change the past. I will change your story. And all you have to do is surrender to the idea of God as love, as principle, as power, and presence. All you really have to do is surrender to right now. That's how all those years will be restored, is to come into the presence of what we call God. Because the presence is now. That's what Jesus was trying to do in that last week. According to the story, he's trying to pull everybody into now. Put aside your story. It isn't true. Any story you want to tell yourself that you are less than good, that death is a reality, that sickness is a reality, that poverty is a reality. Any part of your story, give it to me. Give it to God. Give it to Spirit. Give it to love. Give it away. Any story you have that tells yourself you are less than good, give it to love. Give it to wisdom. Give it to the very presence that is. Give it to the now. Any story you have, give it over. That doesn't mean tell the story again and again to God, trying to convince God that something happened that didn't happen. Because everything that you and I think happened because we think it happened this way. Everything. And so give your story. And some of us, if we do that, will then be without our story and bereft. I know my story is a bad story, but it's the only one I have. And I won't be anything without my story. Well, that's not true. Let's know now. That is not true. You'll be what you actually are. I will be what I actually am when I let go, when I give over my story to love. I will be what I already am. You see, we am not the story we've been telling about ourselves. We are not bad. When I said before that give over the story about yourself, I want to be very clear here. The story you tell yourself about others that is less than light is also the story you believe about yourself. See, if you're with your friends, your acquaintances, you're on a bus ride, you're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere you go to tell yourself and others that there are bad people, that's how you see yourself. Because how could you see yourself as good, if you know bad people? Let's not confuse who and what we are with how we behave. Let's not confuse the very essence of life with our behaviors. Let us not think that we are unworthy of the kingdom, or that he or she, is unworthy of the kingdom based on behaviors. I was at dinner last night, and I sat across from a couple of essentially fundamentalists, and they were trying to, in the nicest way, I want to be clear on this, they weren't smug, they weren't arrogant, this is their faith, and they were saying, but don't you believe that if someone doesn't ask for forgiveness, that God will not let them in, that there is a place where God will send them? And I said, I absolutely do not believe in that. I cannot believe that a God that is love would send me to a fiery, burning place of misery just because I don't have the good sense to ask for redemption. Seriously, what kind of God do you people have that would want to send you to hell, or your brother or your sister, to a fiery, burning place once you die? What kind of a God do you have? But you see, I can't condemn the people who believe in that God. I just have to make sure I don't believe in that God. I can't take that on. I had to give that story over to Spirit. And so you see, if today we are experiencing something less than joy, less than glee, less than comfort, less than satisfaction, less then the kingdom. It's not because God is holding out on us. It's just this is where we are now. This is just where we're experiencing ourselves in life now. Jesus said that you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. He didn't say you'll feel good about life and be set free. He didn't say you'll be comfortable and you will be set free. He said you will know the truth. So you see, while we're experiencing all that stuff coming up, we can still know the truth and be free to experience all that stuff coming up, all that confusion. You see, it's for not all of us, but lots of us, that confusion is sitting in us. It's sitting in every cell, every fiber, every tissue, over all of our being. It's just sitting there, and it's waiting to come up, to be seen. Now, I never ask anyone to pray for patience, because you'll be in every line in town. Oh. Teach me patience. Okay, here you go. You don't have any plans this afternoon, do you? In our emotional, in our physical, in our spiritual recovery or restoration to the natural state of our being in full alignment with mind, body, and spirit, we must practice patience. I believe the healing has already happened, but it's going to take the rest of our, not the rest of our lives, it's the rest of our being and experience to perhaps experience the full healing. And even then, we still have a body, and we're lugging this thing around. And so we can forget, ouch, ouch, ouch. Oh, pain, I'm bad. Pain, this is bad. Ouch, ouch. Somebody looks at me. Oh, and if I forget for a moment, I can forget for a year. And so to realize, patience. Just have patience. So don't pray for patience. You're already getting it. An opportunity to learn it. But the patience, with this mouth thing I've had, this nerve thing in my jaw, I've had to experience patience. My chiropractor says, it could take 6 weeks, 90 days. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. Went to the GP the other day. He wasn't at all concerned. Tomorrow I'm going to see my dentist. But it's a bizarre thing that happened overnight, but it hasn't gone away overnight. Yeah. I have prayed not to have my jaw healed, but to be connected with the source in mind, body, and spirit. It's not that I'm not connected, but I want to know that I'm connected. It's in my knowing of my connection with source, with spirit, that all healing can take place. And it's not just the jaw, it's the unforgiveness that sits in the jaw. It's the fear that sits in the jaw. It's the forgetfulness that sits in the jaw. And so to become aware that, it's patience. It's patience. Jesus, as a teacher, as a minister, as one who it seems really got on board with the God of his understanding and wanted to take everybody along, knew that not everybody's going to get this right away. Was very clear on that. The disciples were a mess. They had doubts all over the place. When Jesus was in the water and the storm started going, and he hollered, "Peace, be still," it wasn't to the storm. It was to the disciples on the boat with them. Peace, be still, people. And as they calmed down, then the storm calmed down. As they stilled their minds, the storm that was their lives got still. He wasn't hollering at the weather. He was talking about these thinking beings. Peace, be still. Listen to this. This comes the Holy Spirit's interpretation of the New Testament, and it's the book of Acts, chapter 9. I think it's 9. Oh no, it's chapter 10. It starts over here around verse 29, I think it is. And it says, "Remember that I have told you there is no past. The past does not exist now. It is only a memory of something that was, but what was isn't now." The Holy Spirit is the purpose of now. The purpose of now is the joining of that which seemed to be made separate by the purpose that was, but isn't anymore. This is important for you to accept. So let's look at this so you may see. The purpose that was, the purpose that you could be separate from God in order to be different. This is the purpose I explained to you before. This is the purpose that led you to believe that you had stolen yourself from God. And so, let's start working with something and say, no, you don't have to repeat after me, but say to ourselves, the past doesn't exist now. Why would that be? Because God is presence. It doesn't say God is past tense or past tense. God is presence itself. I'm feeding back a little, Bob. God is presence itself. That means now. And so take anything that disturbs you or gives you great joy and realize that is a story based on what I think of the past. Anything that disturbs us, quite frankly, is about the past. Anything and everything that would disturb us can only be based on the past. Otherwise, how would I know about it? How would I have a name for it? How could I explain it? And it's our thinking, I can't overcome the past, that starts to diminish our hope. But then we bring, okay, God is presence. So I am willing to be present in the presence. I'm willing to see presence now. I'm willing to see now. I am willing to see now. And I am willing to see now. And then the question, well, I've done all this work. Why aren't I already healed? I don't want this journey. I don't like it. I don't want it. The presence of God is now. I am willing to see now. I am willing to see now. And that's why it's called a spiritual practice. And the overcoming has already happened once I start the practice. Because I'm no longer entertaining the past. I'm now inviting my conscious mind into the superconscious mind to practice the presence. We all have a very, very wonderful invitation this week, this last week of Lent, to put aside our complaining once again, our criticism once again, our doubt once again, and to invite the presence into our conscious mind from our superconscious mind. We're really worth it. Every one of us is really worth living in love and life and light and wisdom and understanding. I don't say this because I'm a preacher. I say this because I'm a practitioner. I have proven these principles over and over again. Hence, I've fallen and forgotten. And so I had to start again and remember again. And then I forgot. And then I forget. So you see, I'm not only the minister, I'm also a client. Put down your past. Give it over to God, to love, to spirit, to wisdom, whatever you want to call it. And ask your highest mind today for a new thought about who you are. And then keep breathing as more and more unfolds. Happy Palm Sunday.